So I took a trip to Orlando the other day with my wife to celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. At least that's why she thought we were going to Florida. You see, in case you didn't know, Florida is the epicenter for fragrance fanatics in the United States. And it just so happened that there was a perfumery less than a mile from where we were staying. La Jetée. But seriously, gents, staying next to that perfumery and finding it, total luck. I mean, if you count dropping $2,000 on niche fragrances, luck. Now, gents, when I was in that perfumery, I felt like a kid in a candy store. And the best part wasn't the amazing selection, wasn't being able to smell all the fragrances, but actually talking to Natalia, the woman that worked there, and hearing her enthusiasm for the fragrances she was showing me. Now, because I know you're curious, here are the 8 that I purchased. From the Spanish house of Monagal, I picked up Olay, Ibiza, and Fisa. From the house of Thameen, London, I picked up Bravi and Green Pearl. From the French house of M. McAuliffe, I picked up Desir Toxic. Next up from Ordo Parisi, I picked up Bergamasque. And finally from the house of Giorgio, we have Tommy Iommi's Monkey Special. Now, gents, in case you can't tell, I'm pretty pumped about all those fragrances. That being said, gents, those 8 are just the tip of the iceberg. Over the last couple years, I have grabbed tons of the newest designer fragrances, and I want to share with you the ones I'm excited to be wearing here over the next year. So diving right into it, a fragrance that's not going to be for everybody. I think one of the more beautiful fragrances released in the last few years has totally flown under the radar. We're talking about Bvlgari Man's Terrae Essence. Unique, earthy, masculine, long-lasting. Those are the words I would use to describe this fall, winter, and spring fragrance. At the top, you've got a citron note. In the middle, you've got vetiver and orris. And at the base, you've got earth and styrax notes. To me, this has a clean, calming effect, and I'm excited to wear it more this next year. Now, if you like everything I said about Terrae Essence, but you're a Gucci fanboy, check out Absolute. This fragrance came out in 2017, and the accords are going to be very similar. We're talking woody, leather, aromatic, animalistic, and earthy notes with a bit of patchouli and smoke. Now, having said that, that's not the Gucci fragrance I'm excited about wearing this year. No, the 2 Guccis I'm excited to wear more and to better understand are going to be the Eau de Parfum and the Parfum. Now, to be straight up, gents, I've only gotten into Gucci fragrances in the last few years. When I bought these fragrances, I probably bought them 3 months apart and thought they would be very similar. However, it turns out they are nothing like each other. In fact, the differences are huge. Let's start off with the Eau de Parfum. Dark, mysterious, clean, beautiful. When I first smelled this, I was like, wow, this is a really great fragrance. And then I was shocked to see it actually has a rose note. I typically don't like fragrances with rose, and this one I thought did it really well. Now, when I bought the Parfum, I just thought this was going to be a stronger version. Turns out they dropped the rose note, and instead they went with the direction of orange blossom, sage, and incense. The result is a fragrance that seems to wear younger, yet have class and elegance. In a nutshell, I'm excited about these fragrances because they're beautiful, they're complex, and for years, I thought Gucci was just overpriced. I'm coming to see, hey, these things are probably worth the money. Oh, and by the way, quick shout out to Gucci Guilty Elixir de Parfum pour Homme. This fragrance is getting rave reviews. After a few wears, I didn't really think it was for me. But hey, that's why it's so important for you to smell a fragrance yourself, to try it, to wear it before you commit to a bottle. Which leads me to introducing you to today's sponsor, Scentbird. Now, gents, I've talked about Scentbird for years because I love what these guys do. With Scentbird, gents, you get a month's supply of fragrance so that you can test it, so that you can date it before committing. I mean, seriously, gents, for the majority of you guys, you do not need to have a fragrance collection like I have. I mean, I talk about this stuff for a living. I can write it off. For you to go out there and spend $100 or more on a bottle and not like it, guys, that is a waste of money. But with Scentbird, you can go through their website, you can choose the fragrance that you want to receive, and again, you get a month's supply. We're talking over 100 sprays in one of these bottles so that you can see how the fragrance reacts on your skin. And gents, let's talk about selection. They've got tons of brands. So if you're looking at Prada, Gucci, Versace, or maybe you want to try something new, you want to go with an indie fragrance, you want to go with a niche fragrance, which if you do, I would recommend you check out Nuit Nomad's Sugar Leather. This is a beautiful fragrance that I received from Scentbird the other day. If you like Kilian's Angel Share, you are going to love this one. Or maybe you want something a little bit more green. Check out Fleur's Father Figure. With this fragrance, think fresh, intimate, and sensual. Maybe you want something a little bit more classic. Check out Brioni's Eau de Parfum Essentiel. This fragrance right here is classic masculine in a bottle. And gents, if you haven't checked out Scentbird for a while, check out their new atomizers, the way that they're delivering the fragrance. And again, I love the fact that all their fragrances are 100% authentic. So if you're building your fragrance collection, if you want to test a fragrance before you commit to a bottle, guys, check out Scentbird. I'm linking to him in the description of today's video with the best deal you're going to find on the web. Now, this next fragrance from Montblanc doesn't get a lot of love, and that's probably because it's overlooked. You got Montblanc Explorer that was a Creed Aventus clone and is a good one at that. And this is the one everyone looks at. But honestly, guys, check out Platinum. It's a totally different fragrance. It is officially a flanker, but this one right here reminds me of Chanel Egoist Platinum, except it is a more modern, I think easier to wear version. Now, overall, this is going to be an aromatic, woody, ozonic fragrance, with the top note being violet leaf. In the middle, you've got clary sage, and at the base, you've got cedar wood. Very simple, very clean, perfect office fragrance, or a fragrance you just want to wear. It's a no-brainer fragrance, a great one to have in your collection. You want to put something on, smell good, and really it's even difficult to overspray this thing. It's not super strong, which I know turns off people that want all their fragrances strong, but I think a workhorse like this, that when you just want to smell good, not think about it, is great to have in your wardrobe. Now, the next fragrance I'm excited to wear more of this year is going to be Viktor and Rolf's Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. Now, that EDP classification is key because they did release one about a year and a half before, and that's going to be just the infrared. It doesn't have the Eau de Parfum on it. This one was a great release, except for some people that tobacco note. It made this a little bit harder to wear, not as versatile, but still, this fragrance, when I bought it, I was sad I only bought a small bottle. But with the Eau de Parfum, I think that they created a perfect winter fragrance with this infrared. It's the cinnamon with that bit of leather, and it just doesn't feel like it's too mature. And for some people, again, the tobacco was going to turn off. This one, it really isn't even present. It's got that spicy note in there, just absolutely beautiful. If you loved the original, you definitely want to have this one. Now, sticking with that theme of a work fragrance, a gym fragrance, something that's going to be non-offensive, but it's going to have you smelling good, isn't going to be overpowering. I could have easily put Coach Open Road, which, if you haven't smelled this fragrance, it's very similar to K by Dolce & Gabbana, their EDT version. A lot of people didn't like this because it was weak. I think it was just mislabeled, mismarketed. When you see a crown, you expect something strong, something powerful. These are not. And even though it's a beautiful bottle, this is actually not the Coach that I want to highlight today. Instead, I want to highlight Coach Green. Now, what I love about this fragrance is it's perfect if you want a quick pick-me-up. The color does not betray expectations. This is going to be fresh. It's going to be floral with a bit of sweet fruit. In fact, the fruit that I absolutely love that they used here is kiwi, which makes sense because you look at the top note, you're going to see kiwi and bergamot. In the middle, you're going to have rosemary and geranium. And at the base, you're going to have cedar and moss. Now, straight up, gents, this fragrance is not super powerful. This is not a winter fragrance, but maybe that's one of the reasons I'm excited to wear this is because it's the perfect spring fragrance. It's a great summer fragrance. This is a fragrance for warmer weather that isn't going to overpower and is going to get you compliments. But what if you do want something sweet? You want something strong. You want something cloying. Well, guess what? 1 Million will never let you down. Paco Rabanne, they've done an excellent job. Pretty much anything from the 1 Million line, but I'm excited to wear Royal a bit more. This is a fragrance that I picked up. There were a lot of fragrances coming out. I didn't get to wear it a whole lot, but when I went and I wore it the other day, looked at the note breakout, absolutely love it. At the top, we're going to see cardamom, tangerine, and bergamot. In the middle, lavender, sage, violet leaf. At the base, benzoin, cedar, and patchouli. If you like a sweet, sexy date night fragrance, this is the one. Unless, of course, you're a Jean-Paul Gaultier man. In that case, you are going to be wearing the Elixir, which is interesting because the notes are very different on this one. At the top, we've got lavender and mint. In the middle, vanilla and benzoin. At the base, honey, tonka bean, and tobacco. Yet, so many people say that this fragrance is eerily similar to Royale. I do smell a difference. For me, it's that honey note. And if you like honey, this is definitely a great one to pick up. But yeah, for the non-fragrance crowd, don't grab both of these fragrances. Choose one, maybe whichever one you can get a better deal on. But both of these are going to be great, sweet fragrances that could be overpowering for some. But if this is what you like, if you like to smell good, you like and ladies love in general vanilla sweet fragrances like this. That being said, if honey's not your thing, if this one is just a bit too sweet, you want something a little bit more masculine, still you want to stick with Jean-Paul Gaultier, check out Scandal Le Parfum. Now, straight up, the difference between the Le Parfum and the original Scandal isn't much. I would say that the Le Parfum is going to be less sweet, more masculine, but if you own the original, you probably don't need to upgrade to this one. That being said, if you don't own either and you're over the age of 40, you're over the age of 50, you want something sweet, this would be a great one to check out. But what about if you're a teenager? What if you're in your 20s, maybe early 30s? You want something that runs a little bit younger still, you like cardamom, you like vanilla? Then check out Paco Rabanne's Invictus Victory Elixir. Now, in general, the Invictus line gets a lot of crap because it can be too synthetic. This one they did a really good job with, but like almost all of the Invictuses, this is going to project. It's a projection monster. So understand, if you're going to wear this, you're wearing it to the club, you're wearing it out with friends, you will get noticed. But for a lot of guys, that's not a bad thing, right? Now, the notes here at the top are going to be lavender, cardamom, black pepper. In the middle, incense and patchouli. At the base, vanilla and tonka bean. This is a cold weather fragrance. Like I said, it projects. It also is beast mode. This thing is going to last 8+ hours. Now, you may be asking, why am I excited to wear the Elixir more? Because I want to better understand the differences between the Victories. I've also got just Invictus Victory, the non-Elixir. And what I've come to find out is this one definitely has a little bit more of a citrus top. It's got more of an amber in the fragrance as well. That being said, if you've been considering Invictus's Victory, maybe check out Prada's Luna Rossa Ocean Eau de Parfum, which I know by the name doesn't sound like it would be anything like this fragrance here, but it is. In fact, with top notes of grapefruit, middle notes of wood and frankincense, and a base of vanilla and amber extreme, I'll wager that if you're looking for a quality amber, woody, vanilla fragrance, this is the one that you're probably going to stop with, because in general, Prada does an amazing job of mixing the fragrances. I like Paco Rabanne, but Prada takes it to another level. And this fragrance, if you can get past the deceptive name of Ocean, I think is a showstopper. Hence why I'm excited to wear Prada's Ocean EDP more this year. Now, if you get your nose on both of those, but you're like, they're just a little bit off, they're not masculine enough, I need something a little bit drier, then check out Givenchy's Gentleman Society. Now, Givenchy across the board makes amazing fragrances. They can be a little bit confusing. What I liked about this one is the bottle is easily identifiable, and when you smell the fragrance, this is clearly not a flanker to the rest of the fragrances in their line. And that's a great thing, because if you've already got a few Givenchy fragrances in your collection, this one right here is not going to be redundant. And if you enjoy cardamom vanilla fragrances that aren't too sweet, this one may hit the spot. Now, at the top, the notes are going to be cardamom and sage. In the middle, you've got narcissus and both Haitian and Madagascan vetiver. At the base, vanilla and cedar. Now, interestingly, I've seen Society compared to Paco Rabanne's Phantom, which I feel is a totally different fragrance. This one is not nearly as smooth, and I think it was meant to be. This one had a huge marketing campaign, came out a few years ago. I remember seeing this in the airport and thinking, wow, that is a gaudy bottle. Turned out the juice is pretty good. It's a citrus mixed in with a lavender. You've also got a bit of vanilla in there. Strangely, it feels like the notes don't mix, hence why I thought this one worked as a unique younger man's fragrance. But what's cool and why I'm bringing that up is they actually came out with a new Parfum version that brought in the cardamom, I think balanced everything out and made it much smoother and created, I think, even a better fragrance than the original. Very unique, and something that, again, you're going to be able to pick up the citrus, you're going to be able to pick up the vanilla, you're going to be able to pick up the cardamom, even the lavender. The notes are very distinctive, yet it all still works together. So if you are a younger man, you want a fragrance that just smells different than what anyone else is wearing, definitely check this one out. And I think older guys can wear it too. Now, these next two fragrances come from two very different houses. In fact, one I absolutely love on pretty much almost every fragrance he puts out. The other one I felt was resting on their laurels. They had been around for a long time, but they really hadn't done anything amazing or innovative. And I'm not going to say that this fragrance is amazing or innovative, but it is really good for what you get. So the house that I'm talking about is going to be Ralph Lauren, their latest Elixir. In fact, the Ralph's Club right here, all the fragrances in this line I thought were good. They got better. First, they came out with the Ralph's Club. Then they came out with Ralph's Club Parfum. And this one, the Elixir, is friggin' amazing. So again, yeah, that's Ralph's Club. The other fragrance I'm talking about is going to be from Tom Ford. So this is the Vetiver Parfum. Now, I've got the EDT, and I'm not going to say that you need to upgrade, but I will say that having a good vetiver fragrance just really is incredibly versatile. I love it. It's a no-brainer. Just a solid masculine fragrance that you can wear at any time of the year. And sticking with Tom Ford, other fragrances I'm excited to wear more of this year, Tom Ford's Ombre Leather Parfum and Noir Extreme Parfum. Now, gents, if you haven't heard, Acqua di Gio Profumo has been discontinued. And to replace it, they've come out with a new Acqua di Gio Parfum. Now, personally, I still think it's a bad decision on their part. That being said, the Parfum is starting to grow on me. I've been wearing it a lot lately, and I'm excited to wear more of it this coming year to see if it really is a replacement for the classic Profumo. Now, gents, if you've got an opinion on that or any of the other fragrances I had on this list, let me know in the comments below. And when you're done with that, check out this video right here. Yeah, go check out this next fragrance video. Come on, guys. I got you covered. You guys know I'm making some great fragrance content because I like fragrances. Probably more than I should, but yeah, come, boom, click right there. Go check it out.